Hello friends, I hope everybody's doing well. Okay, so the weed whacker that I use here in the yard, this is the problem that we're up against here. Okay, it was just from bump feeding it so many times, and then the knob wears out and falls out. This is the new one. It's a genuine Echo I bought, and that was like 21 bucks with the tax. There's some knockoff ones you could buy, but I would rather have the OEM one when it comes to this, because they take so much abuse. Also, I paid, I think about $22 and change just for the spool. But I could have bought the whole head with the spool, the whole assembly, for 30 bucks. I kind of should have, but there's really nothing wrong with this one. I'm going to show you a couple of things here. Because I was using it without the centerpiece in here, and it accumulated a lot of dirt and grass in here. I'll show you that in a minute. First thing you want to do, if you buy a trimmer, okay, if you buy it new or used, what you want to do is you want to determine the rotation of the spool. This one happens to be a left-handed one. There's left-handed and there's right-handed. I'll show you why that's important. Okay, so if I flip this over here, let's say you wanted to change the whole head here, you would obviously think that if you turn it to the left, it'll loosen it. Being it's a left-handed rotation weed whacker, you do everything the opposite way. You would tighten it to get this spool off. Now, under here, there's a slot, and you have to catch something into the knob itself in there to lock it, to get it apart. I'm sure they make a tool for it, but I just use an Allen wrench. This Allen wrench fits it good, but we don't have to worry about that today, because I never ordered a head for it. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to clean everything up really good here. And since the knob was missing, this is spring loaded here, so when you push down on the weed whacker to bump feed it, it'll feed the line. But we ended up getting a lot of dirt and grass in there, clippings. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, well, I'll be back to you in a minute. Okay, so what I did was I cleaned the spool out real good in here and the outer part. I don't bother cleaning the guards or anything until like October when I'm done weed whacking. Then I'll clean the whole thing up real good. But I got all that grass out, and I scrubbed this out with a little brush here. And as you can see here, that spring loaded part I was telling you about, you can like push this down, and you could take a pick and you could clean it out, turn it upside down, tap it, or you could use a little brake clean or something to clean it out real good. So I sprayed it with some WD-40, and it seems to be fine. Now, as far as the spool goes, two things I want to mention too. They make what they call an Echo-matic. It's a self-loading string. I didn't bother with all that. Once you get the hang of this, like this is easy enough for me to re-spool when I have to. And also, if you buy like a used Ryobi, I don't even know if they make them anymore. If you buy used Ryobi, and I think Craftsman too, what it has is it has a button that screws on to hold the spool on. If that button is red, it's a reverse thread. If it's black, then it's normal. You would unscrew it like you're unscrewing a bolt or something like that. Okay, so I wanted to buy 115 I use weed whacker string, but they didn't have any, so I had to settle for the 95 this time. I mean, I could go up to 115 with this and it's no problem. Okay, so what I did was Let me make sure you can see what's going in here. Before I started winding it, there's a little hole in there, so I stuck some string in the hole, and I just kept winding it until this was full. Then I started winding it. Very important, you don't want to overload this because there's notches here. You don't want to overload it to where you can't get the string into the notch. Otherwise, you can't load it on the weed whacker too easy. Alright, so I did that, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to unravel the whole thing, because that's not how you want to load this. I just want to get a general idea of how much string I got. So once I unravel this, if you want, you can measure off how much that you need with a tape measure, or you can just use a reference point. You know, tie this end to something and then run it out, and you know, you can more or less have a reference point of how you want to run the weed whacker line. I'll try to do this the best I can on camera. I'm unraveling this now. Okay, so I unraveled it and I got a real long piece here. Okay, so what you want to do is you're going to take the two ends here and meet them right at the end, and then you're just going to keep pulling and pulling and pulling until you get to the end. Like I said, I'll try to do this on camera, but another thing too, this is like the serrated line. I like the smooth, because this is a pain. It gets tangled really easy and everything. Okay, so we came to the end. So we have two equal pieces coming off each end. So we're going to just squeeze this together here. Okay? Okay, now there's a notch right in between the two ends here. Alright, so what you want to do is, and there's an arrow on this which way to wind it. Okay, so I stuck the line in between there where that notch is. And then you're just going to keep going around and around and around until it's on. And then I'll be right back. Alright, so I kind of put a little more than I wanted to on here, but it's alright. I was still able to get it into these little notches here to hold it in place for when you put it on. If you want to order a spool for your machine, like this for instance, it's an Echo SRM 210 trimmer spool line, spool, period. I Googled and a whole bunch of them came up, off-brand, Echo, and whatever. So whatever kind of trimmer that you have, just do that in the Google search. Alright, so you're just going to take, and you're going to put it through the one hole here, and then this is going to go through the other hole here. Okay. This fell out already. Because like I said, I kind of overwound it. It doesn't matter. We got it in place anyway. Okay, so you're going to push this down. And remember how I said everything is reversed? Okay, so what you're going to do is push down and tighten it like you're tightening it, and then it'll be down in, wait a minute. No, this should turn to the left. I'm sorry. Yeah, you'll turn this to the left to lock it in. And that's how you do it. Just cut off some excess. Go a little more than usual. Sometimes when you start these up after you re-spool it, it will stretch out a bit. So if you pull on each side here, it'll undo it from those notches, so it's free. And that's it. Maybe I'll start it up and show you how it works. I don't think there was anything more I needed to point out to you. I might just cut a little more off that. I think it'll be alright like this. Any gas in this? I don't know. I don't think so. Alright, so that's how you do it. I don't think I'm going to put any gas in this door. I got to make some more two-stroke anyway. But it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. And like I said, if you want to do like I said to see how much line you need, the way I wound that all up and then unwind it and either measure it or use a reference point, I might do that someday, I don't know. But like I said, if you're using thicker weed whacker string, then you're going to need less. So I just assume just do it the way I do it, and I never have any problems with it. So I hope somebody got something out of this. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one. Take care.